What's up, guys? Let's do an ICP video and let's talk about everything Jerry Banfield, CityXcape, CoinNation, whale manipulation, the new Definity office in the United States. You know, so there's been a lot of things that have happened since the last time I made a video about ICP. You know, Fabio, has made a lot of videos and has talked about a lot of the metrics and stuff like that, and whale manipulation and stuff like that. I don't necessarily buy into the premise of whale manipulation. We see what's going on in the crypto market, and it's been a very precarious market. There's this oversaturation, obviously, of memes, and a lot of them have round trip. People try to say, well, the memes were rug pulls. Most of them weren't what I would consider a rug pull. It just naturally people made some gains and then they took profits, and then as the thing bled off, people didn't kind of chase after it and it round tripped. We've seen that with Trump's meme, Melania's, the Argentinian president with this whole Libra thing. There's been a lot of drama around these various influencer memes, various different political related meme coins and stuff like that, and we're seeing it in the overall kind of alt market as well. Bitcoin's still at 96,000, which hasn't been this crazy burn off like that we might expect, that we could go down to like 72,000 or something like that, which would obviously devastate a lot of the memes as well, and a lot of the altcoin market. But ICP right now is sitting around $7. If there was a capitulation move and it went down to $3 or $4, certainly would break a lot of backs. And, you have various different people in ICP looking for various different things. So I don't necessarily think it's whale manipulation trying to push it down. Just the overall market in general has been somewhat doing that. Now, CityXcape, James Allen's videos and stuff like that, he brings up a lot of important points. And, it is kind of getting humorous to kind of go over and see the comments and stuff, and people just kind of attacking him, acting like, almost like he doesn't know anything, or that he's just kind of bitter and stuff like that. I think in general, let's just say whether someone's bitter or they aren't, there needs to be constructive criticism about the thing, and to kind of expect, it's hard to expect. What do you expect out of necessarily anybody of what they're going to be able to produce if they don't have funding? Would you expect necessarily someone to create all kinds of logos and do all kinds of branding and ship a lot of product and stuff for Dell computers or Microsoft or whoever, if they weren't getting a salary, if they didn't have funding, if why would they continue to go to work, kind of thing? So this is always a tough thing, and this is one of the things I look at different projects. Is there going to be funding, and are developers going to be able to be funding, or are they going to fund marketing? And that's always a tough equation to kind of push the right type of marketing. And we've seen a lot of these, even stuff that's at the top has round tripped at some point, whether that be XRP, whether that be Solana, whether that be Avalanche, whether that be Tron. A lot of the stuff has went up like a rocket, down like a guillotine, and it's essentially round tripped at some point in its life cycle. So, ICP is no different. And, any kind of constructive criticism and what needs to be done, it shouldn't be ignored. I mean, you can't just, create this whole circle jerk and have that perpetuate itself, into perpetuity. That's not really gonna kind of work. So a lot of the stuff that CityXcape is bringing up, there is a lot of important points. In one of his recent videos that he brought up, he talked about a particular client was looking to potentially build on the IC, or maybe on another chain, and there were certain things they didn't like, the fact that it didn't seem as decentralized, because Definity seemed to be running all the boundary nodes. And he brought up some important points, and they ultimately decided it wasn't for them, and that maybe and I got the impression, I was going to leave a comment, I didn't get a chance, that to me, based on what his client was saying, that it might make sense to build it, you know, on a parachain of Polkadot, or on a layer 1 on Avalanche, like its own layer 1 on Avalanche. But I didn't get a chance to ask that question of what his thoughts were and stuff like that. But he brought up some important points, and people just blasting the comment section, just fighting it out. It's actually kind of humorous, because a lot of the people that are commenting, you know, again, there's levels to everything. You know, how much does somebody know? You know, it's just, it's always hard to say, or it's just fun to kind of leave kind of a snarky comment and stuff. Now, CoinNation, and you know, I'll see people commenting on CoinNation's videos saying, you know, giving him props and stuff, rightfully so, because he's doing something super cool. And then they kind of bash on James Allen of CityXcape over on CoinNation's videos. And CoinNation's videos are not getting as much traction as they deserve, to be honest with you, because basically, you know, he is building out a developer platform, and I look at it as being kind of a cross between ICP Ninja and Caffeine AI. And you're going to be able to manage canisters, and you're going to be able to, you know, generate the code, save the WASM, and start and stop your own canisters and stuff like that, and develop with that in that environment, and you know, deploy it and stuff like that. And then if you want to start and stop development on whatever you're working on and stuff like that, you know, you could potentially stop the canister so that you're not burning cycles and you wouldn't keep paying into it and stuff like that. But basically, a developer platform is my take on it, and it's very much needed. And it seems like the congruence of, you know, lots of different resources and maybe 3 or 4 different things that are out there that would consolidate things, you know, all in one place, and make it a lot easier for developers to launch projects and to test code and stuff like that. You know, and you know, I see a lot of great things from that. You know, he seems like he's mainly existing right now on the test net, and he was expected to go live on the main net and release it on the main net in a couple weeks or something like that. So shout out to him. I had retweeted actually one of his videos. A lot of good work going there, and I think that's going to help a lot of developers, because there's a lot of pieces to it that, you know, you kind of feel like you're jumping around between 3 or 4 different resources, and maybe still have issues compiling, or different issues and stuff as a developer. So you know, I think that's much needed. And to be honest with you, based on what I was seeing, I think he should get funding from Dfinity, or they should bring him in-house and basically pay him a salary to build the rest of it out. But in my head, I was kind of thinking, you know, would they almost look at it and feel like it's competing against Caffeine AI? And you know, I think that's a very interesting question with it. I don't think that they should look at it like that if they do, just because the more resources for developers, the better. And you know, it's just like, you know, when I look at other ecosystems, let's say for instance Hive, you have different entries and, you know, exits and stuff like that. You need multiple exchanges, you know, for liquidity and exit, both decentralized and centralized. And then you need various different ways to post and interact with the blockchain. So you have Essensi, you have PeakD, you have Inleo, you have you know, all these different ways to post to the Hive blockchain. And I would you know, and again, as for ICP right now, it's sort of at this earlier stage, so it's like there needs to be more tools for developers to build out things that then end users can interface with. So it's kind of earlier in its life cycle, because if you look at the Hive blockchain, you know, originating from Steam, we're talking 8+ years, whereas, you know, ICP, you know, we're talking, let's say 4 years, you know, essentially. So earlier in its life cycle. That being said, you know, other things, obviously, like at various different points, people kind of question their investments and stuff like that. Crypto market will not make it easy. I've been in crypto since 2013, and about the time you're thinking, you know, we should be, you know, ramping up here, and this should continue to climb, and then You know, inflation has beaten everybody up, I think, across the board, and I kind of question how much the inflation and how much the sports betting is kind of just distracting people from their crypto investments and forcing people out even if they don't want to be out. And then but again, we've seen this stuff before. It could turn around in a few weeks, but we could have some very hard shakeouts. We could go down to 72,000 for Bitcoin and capitulate hard for the alts. And we see other projects as well just not getting that bid, not getting that love, whether it be Ethereum, whether it be this and that. And yes, we all understand that ICP, there's nothing else where you can, store stuff on chain, and do what you can do with ICP. But that being said, that has to be marketed, and there has to be a lot of development and a lot of stuff built out on ICP for that to play true. And then also earlier investors that had these kind of VC unlocks, venture capitalist unlocks and stuff like that, that stuff should kind of play out this spring, it looks like. And then at that point, we maybe don't have as much down pressure, but Aaron Bremser, I think I'm pronouncing that right, where he's worked with CoinSwap and been involved in the ecosystem, obviously. He had a video with Jerry Banfield where he was comparing the ecosystem to Cosmos. And I've been on the Cosmos ecosystem for various, throughout the last few years and stuff with Osmosis, was running liquidity pools out on Osmosis. And then also Scorum, if you remember, was a Steam clone for sports related stuff. They actually ended up creating their own, basically their own chain, like a Scorum chain on the Cosmos ecosystem. And so the coins that I had there, SCR, I was able to kind of trade to USDC out on Cosmos, and get it back to Atom and moving around and stuff like that. The ecosystem is very complex and it's very confusing. And the other thing that I would draw as a similarity is the fact that for staking Atom, you can earn a pretty hefty reward beyond 12%. And it reminds me very much of how ICP, you can earn like obviously a very heavy percentage, if you lock up and become, let's say, especially part of the 8-year gang. And, when investors are sort of incentivized to kind of move in that direction, a lot of them are trying to, create this goose that lays the golden egg. And, if that's the kind of investor that you attract, they're looking for that drip to sort of be this persistent income. And, therefore they might continue to kind of sell that as they get that drip. That being said, I just think it's interesting. Now, you can still earn like a decent amount beyond 5%. Let's say for Solana or, some of these other chains and stuff like that. But, it does seem like once you get beyond like 10 or 12%, that then the drip kind of like weighs on it. The return kind of weighs on the price potentially. But again, like I said, man, just the crypto market in general right now is just, so tweaky and so weird that, I'm starting to kind of question, and this is one thing I'm going to have to, kind of look at more and stuff like that. And we just really don't know. But in the next couple weeks, obviously there's 2 weeks until March. And my prediction was that we would go, Bitcoin 120,000 by March, and that would actually be the top. Now we've had this burn off and this downward pressure and stuff like that. So yeah, there becomes a lot of question marks to that. It can turn around quick. All that being said, guys, ICP, I would say the biggest worry is that it's slipping down CoinGecko. A year ago, I would say it was like the 30th position. And now it's been kind of like nudged out of the way by a few different other projects. And then suddenly, we're sitting there around 44th position. you don't want it to slip down CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap against this competition, because this is player versus player, project versus project in a lot of respect. Not to get too tribal and stuff like that. I'm not a maxi on any of these projects, but that being said, it is, you know, in competition with the other stuff up there. So again, a lot of positive stuff happening, but then there's still a question mark. Where's CK Soul? We've been waiting for CK Soul for a year. We need CK's Doge. We need CK LTC. You know, like, and again, is it a funding thing? Is it that Definity doesn't care? They already made their money on it, and it's all for show at this point. I really can't answer that, guys, because I've seen it go both ways. I've seen some of these foundations, you know, I've seen some of these companies keep grinding. They want to change the world. They want to do something big, and there's big things working in the background. And then I've also seen it where people pieced out. I've referenced EOS before. I tell you, it's disgusting to see that EOS's Block One's CEO, you know, Brennan Bloomer, hasn't been active for a couple years on Twitter. It's like he disappeared. Remember Steam's CEO, Ned Scott? Just essentially disappeared. Where is the guy? You know, these guys just kind of come and they just disappear. And then even Dan Larimer, I mean, he was one of the, I would say, top 5 most notable developers in the blockchain world, and he has essentially disappeared. You know, and he created BitShares, Steam, and EOS, and he's disappeared. So anyway, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Definity, but, you know, again, it's tough out there if you don't have funding. And, you know, stuff's round tripping and stuff like that, man, it is tough out there. Anyway, guys, leave your comments below, and we're gonna be making more videos today and everything, because I got this long drive and have to go to the Audi dealership. So anyway, leave a comment below, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steam, and Twitter, Hive, DTube, Blur, The Arena, everywhere. See you guys.